Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are consuming this. This is Sportycast 343 back, episode 115. I'm your host, Jason, and as always, I'm not on my own. I've got a supporting cast, and I think we've lined up a good cast today. AF, I welcome you back, sir. How's it been?
I am doing great, man. Maybe great is a bit hectic. So yeah, I'll tone it down a bit. I'll say I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. All things considered, it's been a bit of an up and down week for me, isn't it? But yeah, doing good. Happy to be here. Happy to be chatting some footy. Yeah, and our guest is somebody that's been on before. You've heard of a false striker. You've maybe heard of a false defender if you are David Luiz. But we've got the false winger, Shripad. How's it going, my man? Good to have you back.
Good, good. It's been a good week so far. The hate watch has been good.
Yeah,
but
that
uh,
London rivalry, it came to full effect last night, wasn't it?
Yes, it is good. It is a much needed reality check also for you guys. So that is good too.
I don't know why Super's come so hot so early, but it's fine. That will add some intrigue to the program. Yeah, jam-packed episode for you guys. If you are in the chat, welcome. If you are going to be watching this later on in the week when you do consume it, welcome. Thanks for the view. Leave your questions in that comment section. We'll bring it up. We'll talk about it. But today we're just going to be talking about a little bit of Arsenal PSG. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I'm not going to ignore it, isn't it? I'm hosting, so we'll talk about Arsenal. We'll jump on to Liverpool and Spurs. Maybe I might put my camera off. I might cry behind the scenes. We'll chat about the form of Man United and Spurs and why they should be worried about Wolves. And then get into a bit of Chelsea, the season that's been up and down with our resident Chelsea expert here, and then jump in the Chelsea Liverpool preview. Sripad, I'm going to start with you just because your hate knows no bounds for Arsenal, apparently. What are your thoughts on last night's game? Give me your honest opinion and please hold something back, otherwise, I might
Um,
cry.
I think Arsenal are still in the tie, but that's more down to PSG's failure to convert their chances than Arsenal doing anything in the game significantly. They had their chances, but I don't think Arsenal were that side that turned up against Real Madrid. Even the fans, to be honest, were very uh, mellow yesterday. It didn't look like it was a Champions League night, especially. First of all, it looked like a day game, and that did not bring the Champions League feel. The tifo was as good as Arsenal's performance yesterday, and then yeah, I think tactically, I think Enrique really ripped apart Arsenal in the first 20 minutes. I'm surprised that Timber was still in the match after that. But yeah, I think Arsenal can still do it, but how much? But they need to do a lot more the next week.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think from my perspective, I think Arsenal maybe let the tie get a bit bigger than it was. Obviously, for most of for the current squad, it's the first time that they are there, so I can understand that sort of nerves to it. PSG came there absolute resolute and absolutely showed us up in that first 20 to 25 minutes, I'd say. I think there's a bit of a tactical tweak. I think the game sort of evened out. And I wouldn't say it was completely one-sided. I think we did come into it again, but with nothing to show for it, it means absolutely nothing, right? AF, what are your opinions on it? Was it a
I
successful watch for you?
I think that the game was more balanced than what everybody makes it out to be. Donnarumma made like three or four insane saves. Like, I mean, the guy was Superman last night, and if it wasn't for him, Arsenal score a couple. Like PSG had their chances. Barcola, you should have converted that
Yeah,
one. Ramos
definitely.
hit the crossbar somewhere close to the end as well. But people can't forget about the saves that Donnarumma made. He was legit Superman last night, and he made the he essentially also kept PSG in the game. So yeah, I don't think it was as open and more like on PSG side than what people are saying.
Yeah. I think it was possibly because of the fluidity that they were showing, right? So for large parts of the game, they seemed to have more of an idea of what they needed to do. And it really exposed Arsenal. But I think in the second half, when we started being a bit more direct, those runs from Declan Rice, even Miles Lewis-Kelly, it sort of opened them up. I do sit here knowing that we got lucky on a few instances. I think Raya had to make a few big saves as well. There were a few last-ditch challenges. So I'm sitting here 1-0 going to the second leg thinking, it's not all bad. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot.
You guys are still in it. You
Yeah,
guys are definitely still in it. Yeah.
and I think what we saw from PSG was probably what we'll see from them next week. I think they've sort of shown their hand as to what it is that they are going to do. As an Arsenal fan, I know that that's not our best performance, and we'll welcome back a few more players, and one in particular, maybe Thomas Partey in that midfield that frees up Declan Rice to then be a bit more progressive, and that will then
And it
push
pushes Marino further forward as well.
and I think that's possibly what we had lacked last night. That sort of centralized focal point. Whether that will be enough, whether the atmosphere is going to be so raucous that we're not going to be able to handle it, I don't know. I think what PSG did last night also very well was restrict any of the ball to Saka, and it really you could see that he got quite a bit frustrated with the lack of service and him having to make some stuff. And as soon as he started to take the game, he then started to look a bit more dangerous. Sripad, is there anything that Arteta needs to tweak in the system besides those little changes? Is there somehow that the bench is littered with kids? There's not much that he can do, right?
No, I think your point is right with that they missed Thomas Partey a lot yesterday, because when you look at the game, I saw a lot of Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Marino pressing a lot. So that left a lot of gap between the midfield and the defense, and that's where PSG were exploiting the space. Like Dembele was getting a lot of space to run into, so that was pulling out a defender like Saliba was a bit confused whether he needs to charge forward and get there or just stay back so that they don't get past him with these. So that's where I think there was no discipline in the midfield yesterday, with Rice also pushing up. But then I can't really blame them also, because Merino and Rice have been pushing up with Partey when Partey is playing. So he's the one who plays as that, not a destroyer as such, but still the one who kind of stays back.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, with Partey coming in, I think that will help. But how much that's going to help in terms of getting goals is another question, because Martinelli had a good chance. He was missing. Saka was, like, as you said, he was getting marked a lot.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think there needs to be a bit of magic. Where that comes from, I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it is a bit worrying. It's where everybody else can see what Arsenal needed during Jan. I think everybody except the board, whether we had the money for it, whether we are promised something in the summer, it's going to be very upsetting once again to see if there's no reinforcements. We're going to get to this point and we're not going to win it, and then people's going to ask questions. But that's for next week's worries. I'm not too phased. Like I said, it's halftime now. There's a lot of football still to be played, and I'm not going to cry too much about that. What I am going to cry about, and this is how we'll segue into Liverpool winning the league. AF, I'm going to jump to you, right? Because there might have been a bit of a change in the dynamic in England, right? Liverpool obviously going on to 20 league titles. Tell me, what was your thought when Dominic Solanke scored in the 12th minute at Anfield? Was it possible?
I wasn't watching that game. I blocked out that entire
like
2 hours.
True Man United fan.
I blocked out that entire 2 hours. I muted every form of Liverpool possible on Twitter, just to give myself that peace of mind. But I mean, like, after a couple of days and thinking about it, like, they took advantage of City slip-ups, of Arsenal slip-ups, and they did what needed to be done. They put in the work when they needed to, and they saw it through till the end. And, like, congratulations to them. Congratulations to Arne Slot. He basically just took a Jurgen Klopp team, and, like, I think he only added Chiesa to that. And he just took, like, heavy metal football and he added some calm to it. He added some sort of composure to it. he didn't make the guys burn out like 3/4 ways into the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think yes, he had like mentioned it a few weeks ago. Also, the work that he's done with Gravenberg, and Klopp brought Gravenberg in, and he
Yeah.
wasn't the player that they thought was going to come in, and then Arne came in, and we saw a completely different player. So yeah, like I mean, he's done a lot of good work with quite a few players, and yeah, congratulations to them. I hope it doesn't happen again.
I could sense the hate and that sadness in your voice there. Shripad, what are your thoughts on Liverpool season? I mean, we haven't heard from you.
I
Yeah,
just
give us your thoughts.
I wanted to add something on what Abe said. He said he blocked it for the 2 hours. I'm surprised he didn't say he blocked Premier League news for the last 2 months. Because given how United have been playing, it's not. It won't be a surprise if most United fans have just started tuning into just the Europa League matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not really like it was given that Liverpool were winning the league once Arsenal were their only competition this year. So that was a given from Jan or Feb itself that they were winning the league for me. So there was no real they won the title. Great, that's all. Move on to the next one. They're not our rivals right now.
Hmm. No,
I
that's
was not
fair.
really focused.
Yeah.
I actually missed the match. I was something else. I think I was busy with. I think it's Sunday, right? Sunday. I don't know. I think I was
I was
watching
watching the
something else
FA
that
Cup.
time.
Yeah,
I was
was it
watching the FA
City?
Cup.
Yeah, City against Nottingham Forest, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was. I think IPL was going on, so I was busy. I was busy with IPL
Oh,
that day.
no, that's fair. That's fair. It feels like a lot of people did want to give Liverpool the credit, and I'm gonna say this now. It's probably gonna hurt me if I do say it. I'm gonna have to force the words out, right? But yeah, I think Liverpool were the most efficient team this season. They had capitalized where teams sort of faltered, and they played a brand of football that was very consistent, and that's all you need, right? You string these games together, and it showed in last season. There were games, those 50-50 games, they would oftentimes give up points. This season I don't think it was the case. They were able to grind out those sort of results where it was necessary. And yeah, they had one and two slip ups, a few draws where maybe the fans didn't account for it, but I think there were games also that the fans maybe went into a bit more nervously, and Liverpool were able to come out victorious there. So credit to Onslaught. It's also coupled with the fact that their best player had one of his best seasons and could go on to have
Probably
probably one
his
of the
best
best.
season.
Yeah, and could go on to probably have one of the best seasons we've seen in Prem history. So
Yeah.
that two things can exist. You can have a lot of luck, but you can also play very good football, and that's fine. So yeah, I can give them their flowers. They've won it. Whether it's something that teams will allow next year, or not allow really, it's not up to teams to allow it, but whether the same style of football gets them over the line next season, that's what makes Premier League so interesting. Everybody's going to strengthen. I don't know how many signings Chelsea are going to recall back from loan, maybe. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of things that could happen, but I'll take my hat off to Arne Slot because he's done what Jurgen Klopp could only do once in a Pep Guardiola dominated era. So, yeah, it's good. That's where we will leave it because I don't want to talk about Liverpool too much. Sadiq, please just calm down. Sorry, I'm gonna ask you now. Please just calm down. I've sent you a message several times about where my good friend Ghost Palmer is, and you haven't responded. But let's just leave that for now. If Shripad said that you might have stopped watching for 2 months, right now, in this 2 months, Wolves have picked up a great number of points, right? Their new coach came in. I think they were just above relegation. They've now
Yeah.
picked up, I think it's something like 19 points, and they are now comfortably sitting at 30. No, they're on 13th position, 41 points, with 40 being the magical number, right? So mathematically, they are secure. They sit above Man United. What are your thoughts? Did What's gone right at Wolves that's gone wrong at United?
I said this before on a previous episode. I think it was very close to when Vito Pereira was announced. And they had who was that? Gary O'Neill before.
Yeah.
Majority of the Wolves team are Spanish speaking. They either Brazilian, Portuguese. Spanish players. There had to have been some sort of language barrier that happened along the way. Some sort of implementation probably wasn't being communicated in the correct way and stuff like that. This guy comes in and immediately things just work out. And it's not the first time. Like Wolves needs to have a Portuguese coach or a Spanish coach or something like that, because
Or
it
somebody
just
like Jorge Mendes recommends.
yeah, it really just like feels like they like whatever is being implemented in the club, whatever sort of game plan and strategy and whatever like along those lines, whatever is being implemented over there, it's taken some sort of Latin flair, if I can put it like that. And yeah, like I mean, Vito Pereira came in. There were problems with Mateus Cunha, with Gary O'Neill, and then this guy comes in, and suddenly Mateus Cunha is behaving on his best behavior again. And he's your QB. He's your
Yeah,
guy that you want to build everything around. And the moment you have him happy, the rest of the team will be singing the same tune.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, and then if you look over at United, another Portuguese coach gets appointed,
yeah,
and this guy with a completely different system to what was previously in the club. And yeah, there's a lot of miscommunication there also. Players not seeing eye to eye. Rashford sent out, Anthony sent out, Jadon Sancho, he was sent out when Ten Hag was there already. We'll get to that in a bit with Sripad. Um, but yeah, I just think that Wolves had a good combination of what was needed. And I think they've been unbeaten since Pereira took over, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, good on them.
yeah. Can't confirm that, but yeah, it just seems like at that moment everything clicked for them, and it's the manager bounce that we've seen when interim coaches take over, managers come in. It's worked and it's been effective, and it's something that's been sustainable. And Wolves have that X factor about them. I mean, Struan Larsen's doing well. Somebody that we saw at the start of the season, we thought, okay, there's something to this guy, and now he's
Yeah.
actually picking up some sort of form. Cunha, um, rolling back the years with the Jose Sa penalty save. So if you've played FPL for long enough, you'd know that Jose Sa was that guy a few seasons ago, and that X factor's even come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at Man United and Spurs specifically, but if the season is this bad, right, does the Europa sort of journey that they're on, right, and this magical story, if either of them win it, it's just a massive plaster over the cracks that we've seen this season, right?
Easily, but I think the issue there is not with the manager or with the players. For me, I think it starts with the management. They made the mistake of keeping Eric Ten Hag for those extra few months. If they had brought in Amorim or any other coach for that instance, if they had brought him in the summer itself, I think they would be
Yeah,
far ahead from where they are right now. I'm not saying they would be challenging for top four, but they could have easily been in the top eight fight at least. There were a lot of issues there in the squad, but if they like the summer signings were a bit of an issue. I think they went for Xerxes this year. Xerxes was not someone who's a vast improvement on Hoyland, or someone who could just like they could have brought in better players, but I think Ten Hag was again having that control, and he did not want anyone else. He's always picked the players that he. That was an issue there. And in terms of
yeah,
like even with Amorim, I think there was a chance he could have done better with how he managed Rashford, how he's used Garnacho, and even like the fullbacks that when he got I think Dorgu, he didn't use him properly. I would say he kept and even the way he's used Ahmad for me has been an issue because even though he's not in third position, but I think he's overplayed him, and that caused that injury there. He could have avoided it by resting him in a few matches.
yeah. I think the only problem with Ahmad being rested was then who was gonna play, and I think everybody was on a very horrible vein of form. If I'm just gonna chat a little bit about tomorrow's game, just so we can get this Man United perspective. We've spoken about it before, and this presents the best opportunity to salvage what's been a very up and down season, right? As has been a few of the seasons, and you always crown it with something at the end. What does tomorrow's game represent in the Amorim story? Is it like an Arteta where it gives him that lifeline to actually continue what he's trying to do? If you lose it, are you gonna ignore everything that's happened and say, you know what, maybe we should give this guy one more season again? Or what are your thoughts?
I think win or lose, Amorim gets an extra season anyways, because it was this new ownership's problem or issue to keep a guy on 3 months in, sack him, bring a guy with a completely new system, and expect him to perform some magic with the existing squad. So he gets an extra season anyways. Wow, Shripad, you just got a insane glow up there on your camera.
Yeah, did you just update the screen?
No, my Wi-Fi has an issue, so I had to switch to my mobile data there.
Oh, okay.
All good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he stays on regardless of what happens in the Europa League this season. And yeah, but like in terms of the squad that they have for tomorrow, I saw De Ligt and Ahmad are back for tomorrow night. So that might fill some United fans with optimism, but I think I'm more nervous about it because I feel like they've, like Sripada said, just like overworking Ahmad, but I feel like in this case they might be rushing him back a bit too quickly, and that is very risky. The guy can get injured again, and then we are back to square one. So yeah, like whatever must happen, must happen. I'm not optimistic. I'm not pessimistic. I think I'm somewhere tethered in the middle of that crossroads.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think two things, right? You are on the roller coaster that Arsenal fans were, right? It's like what happens must happen, but also
I need to come to you for pointers. How do you deal with this?
Very similarly, you are doing a first in, first out, or like a one in, one out injury thing. So now those two guys come in, and then Zirks is out for the season, and now Delo possibly out for the season as well, right? So it's like you get two attackers in, or attacker defender in, and then attacker defender out, and that's like that's actually going to be wild. I just see there's a comment here from Asfar. Sripad, what do you think about this? Do you think it could happen, or do you think Bodo Glimt's gonna pull off the best result in their history? Even Athletic will bow. I know how much United love playing against him.
I don't know much about Bodo Glimt, to be honest, but given the results they have had, they've been brilliant. And I think Tottenham's biggest issue there would be the away match, because I've seen that the temperatures are almost in negative, and they have, so that could be an issue. But if it's a United Tottenham match, then it'll be just like Liverpool versus Tottenham in the 2019 Champions League. I wish both teams lose.
I almost feel like it's going to be a 0-0, and they're just going to play, and then it's going to get to a shootout, and they'll just score. And it's like, I just feel like I don't know which team would be able to win that game. It's like,
Yeah, I think that's true. It will, in that way, it will be a good game, because you don't know if Agne is going to play the high line, or Amorim is going to play the high line, and probably we'll have all the 22 players standing at the half line trying to catch the other one offside.
Yeah, then it's
the
just
blind
a speed
leading
race.
the blind.
Yeah, then it's just a speed race, man. The next thing they're gonna have managers race off against each other down the touchline as well. Wins the Europa. But yeah, no. So I think it sets up nicely. I think it's gonna be good games tomorrow, and again, both teams, if they're able to get to the final, I think it's a massive boost of confidence after the season that they've had. I don't think we're giving United and Spurs enough for the current form that they've shown and their league position and things of that nature. But let's not go into that. There's another team that I want to talk about that I think we should be throwing stones at all the time. We're going to jump to Chelsea. And Sadiq, if you want to put some comments in now, let me know your honest thoughts about my friend Cole Palmer. But Shripa, just from when we last had you on, right, I tried to go back and just check in terms of the log position, but I think Chelsea's been very consistent in that they've stayed in and around 6, 7, 8, and now fifth. So fifth does guarantee Champions League. What are your assessments on the league performance and I think Enzo Maresca as a whole?
I think until Christmas it was really well. I think we had we were like 2 points behind Liverpool. I still didn't think it was like what is it? It's not a false position, but I still didn't think we were going to challenge for the title or something. I thought that was a good start, and I knew there will be slip ups here and there, but the drop off in football has been crazy. It does no, it doesn't feel like we're playing the same way as we used to before till that Christmas period. Probably something since Christmas. There's been a massive drop in terms of how Chelsea are being set up. This form dropping was kind of a like was it? It's fine. It happens, but it's just that everyone's form dropped at the same time, and that became an issue for Chelsea. And
Yeah,
in terms of how you're calling him Ghost Palmer, I don't really care about individual performances so much.
yeah,
But yes, Palmer needs to step up. He's been riding on that last season's form, like last season. That what do you call it? It's not. No, I go say the fan favorite is that tag just because he's there. What he did last season, they're not calling for his head right now. But if you take that out and just look at the last 4 months, I think people will be charging for him more than Maresca.
yeah.
I don't know, man. The difference is this season he didn't get as many penalties as last season.
Ooh.
I don't know. That's just how I see it. We have a comment in the chat about
That
Tyreek
one
Jones.
that I will give that to you, to be honest, because you know about saying midfielders needing penalties because you have been watching Bruno for so long.
Yeah, is it the same? No, I don't know. Can it be debated? Yes, I'm not going to do that right now. What we want to know
Even with
is
all the ghosting, I think he's had a lot more performances than Bruno this season. So a lot more goals,
this
a lot
isn't a
more
United chat
performances.
right now. This is about Tyreek George, and we want to know about Tyreek George.
I think why he
Tyreek
looks
George is
because isn't he like Saka's lookalike or something, right? That's all I know.
there's that there's that evil Saka joke going on Twitter, and that's funny. But to be honest, I'm still surprised about how much we are using the Tyreek George. I thought he'll be
Yeah,
playing regularly in the Conference League this year, but not where league in the Fulham game and not using centrally, which is not both are not his positions. His position is the left wing where he likes to cut in and like sorry, he's that guy who loves to go down the flank just with the burst of pace and then cut in with speed. But then he's not been able to do that given how Maresca likes to set up his wingers. And despite that, I think he's shown a lot of potential. He is
okay,
someone who should remain and not be sent out on loan next year, regardless of who the wingers are at the club. And
yeah.
I hope he's that thing first or second choice for the left wing and not just the striker position next year.
That brings me to, sorry, Jason. I just want to ask a
No, go
question.
for it.
Like,
Go for
so
it.
I don't know where you stand on the whole Jaden Sancho thing. If you want Chelsea to sign him permanently or send him back to United, but say for example they do sign him permanently, that's obviously going to hinder Tariq George's development. And I mean, if you want him to be first choice or second choice, then you have Nani Madueke, you have Jaden Sancho, all vying for that spot of left wing. How do you think Enzo will end up tackling that sort of conundrum?
With Sancho, I do have some sort of intro, but in terms of decision, whether they're Chelsea are going to keep him or send him back, they're still undecided on that because there have been talks. But then there are talks with Dortmund as well because they want to sign Gittins. So there could be a chance where that 25 million is spent on Sancho and he's used in the Gritton swap deal or something in some way. Ideally, in my for me, I would say pay the 5 million, send him back to United because it's not the output that we wanted at Chelsea. He's not been that I would say the standout player. He's not been, even though I think he scored against Tottenham and then he scored against Ipswich. That Ipswich, the time gap between that was exactly 125 days, and that's not what you want from someone who's playing regularly at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Especially in attack when you have just Jackson and Palmer as the ones who are scoring, you need the wingers also to chip in. You cannot be relying on just these two, and you can clearly see those 125 days from the Tottenham win till this Ipswich Town draw. I think that's clear that Chelsea needed someone else to step up, and Sancho did not do that.
Yeah. Super. Just while we're on rumors and transfer news, I just want to know if you've heard anything. We've got a question here. Maya's asking, any news on the Morgan Rogers rumors? Is it Cole Palmer wanting to kind of get his celebration back, or what's happening?
I don't have anything directly from I think anyone or the Morgan Rogers thing, but now the sources who are like the reporters who are saying it so far have been pretty decent. I've not seen
Yeah.
Matt Law post anything about it, but I think just before our stream started, there was a report from Fabrizio on it. So I think there is something going on, and because especially because Aston Villa have interest in getting Axel Disasi this summer permanently. So, and given how Chelsea have been dealing with clubs where you take one, we'll take one of yours, I think there could be a chance that Morgan Rogers could be coming this way.
Yeah.
Another name, another name who could be going to Aston Villa is Joao Felix, unless I think there's a good Saudi offer. Aston Villa have been interested in Felix for a really long time. Unai Emery is a big fan. I don't know what he sees, but yeah, he's been a big fan of Joao Felix for a long time. He's been trying to sign him. So yeah, it depends on Felix there. I think he could go down the Conor Gallagher role, where he said, "I'm not interested in Aston Villa and go somewhere else."
Yeah.
And yeah,
Would be a good
Felix to
move if.
Wolves. Okay, yeah, that's I think Portuguese
Again,
to Portuguese
Yeah.
related club. That's a good move.
let's go all the way back to the guy who basically sees everything on the field for Chelsea, and that's Robert Sanchez. He sort of earned his salary or his wage over the last couple of months. We know we've spoken a lot about like the goalkeeper situation over at Chelsea, but yeah, he's definitely improved. I remember back when you were on the last episode, I don't think anybody had anything good to say about Robert Sanchez. What's your opinion of him now?
Uh, I think Sanchez is a mystery player. You really don't know which Sanchez is showing up because, like, I don't know. It feels like he has a twin sitting up, like waiting in the dressing room, and they keep switching places every match or something. Just the Everton match that I saw, first half he was absolutely terrible, not able to like, grab onto the ball and all that. And then in the second half, he produces 2 to 3 great saves, and he's the man of the match suddenly. So we just don't know what we are going to get from Robert Sanchez. That's my biggest issue with him. The only thing consistent about him is his inconsistency, and that's not what I want from a goalkeeper at Chelsea. I would preferably this is his last season, and yeah, I don't really see why he deserves another chance at Chelsea.
So Chelsea have about what 7 or 8 goalkeepers on their books right now. Um, Surely, like majority of them are ones for the future or for resale value as the years go on. Do you think that Robert Sanchez or Jorgensen will be let go or like sold in the transfer window to look for a sort of MVP or star player
A
to
more
put in the goal.
recognized keeper, yeah, a more recognized
Yeah.
keeper. Yeah.
As things stand, Chelsea have no plans to sign any goalkeeper this summer.
Yeah.
They have their main four that they've identified from their pool of goalkeepers. So there'll be Sanchez, Penders, Jorgensen, and Petrovic. Those four are the ones that will be evaluated by Maresca. I think they'll be around the Club World Cup time and the pre-season. Ideally, I would say sell Sanchez, keep Jorgensen as the second choice, Penders goes to Strasbourg, and Petrovic stays as the number one choice next year.
Ooh, bold. I like that.
Like
Yeah.
this might sound like an exaggeration for a lot of people, but I've been watching Penders like for the last 18 months or something since the Chelsea in terms of positioning, in terms of the height as well. Like he has that confidence despite his age that he charges up and he's ready to command that box. So I think, but he's not ready for Chelsea still. There's a long way to go for that. So I think like how Courtois spent 2 seasons at Atletico, I think this guy can spend a couple of seasons at Strasbourg and then come back.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, again, as we say every season, it's just about getting that right composition of players in, mixing it with some youth, some experience, and I think that's what's lacked this season. The spine has been completely off. It's been too chop and change because you have too many players. You want to try and play everybody, or not everybody, but yeah, there's a separate squad for Conference League. There's a separate squad for the league and then the other cups and things like that. So getting that right squad, I think Marissa is going to have to do a lot of work in the summer just to kind of nail down. There's a lot of exciting talent that's there, but not everybody can stay at the club. And I think it's that growing uncertainty that exists that kind of filters into the team and all those things. But yeah, going into this weekend's game, though, you've got the champions coming to Stamford Bridge, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I don't know what my dad said. Don, just go put the kettle on because I'm going to be wrapping up soon. Yeah, it's actually pretty cold in Cape Town. Wrapping up on the Chelsea Liverpool preview. What are we expecting from Liverpool? I mean, league's done. There's nothing more. It's more just rock up, get the guard of honor, and then hopefully not be too drunk to string a few passes together. AF, what are you expecting from this game? And is it more on Chelsea to kind of solidify that top 5 position to get Champions League?
I think it's going to be more of the same for Liverpool. Salah is going to want to score as many goals as possible to ensure whatever record he sets is untouchable for anybody in the future. And yeah, I think it's just like trying to keep building on with these players. For the most part, I think Slot will probably do something like a 7-4 split with like 7 experienced players and maybe four kids, just to get them experience as well. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's more of the same from Liverpool. I don't think that they'd be trying to take their foot off the gas anytime soon.
Okay, that's fair. But for a Chelsea's perspective, I mean, you've got Conference League tomorrow night, but it's still the emphasis is, I think if you win the conference, you then go into the Europa. But if you finish in the top 4, then you're in the Champions League already. So is that the main focus then? Are we just going to try and solidify top 5 and then get Champions League football back to the bridge?
Yeah, I think that should be the aim right now. There's nothing else for Chelsea to really focus on, and for that, I hope Liverpool do bring in a proper drunk team this weekend so that Chelsea can have that advantage. But yeah, I don't think like how AF said. I think Salah will be that thing. He will always have that focus. He's always hungry for goals, even if like that's something you have to give it up, give it to Salah. Even if they're 5-0 up, he's still trying to score goals and get those assists. However,
Yeah.
like, most of his assists have been like misplaced shots, missed shots, and all. But still, he has that hunger. He's always interested in getting on the score sheet, regardless of.
Yeah.
That's something like I've seen in very few players, and I think Salah is up there with Ronaldo for it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think he's also, I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, rather, he's, I think he's on 18 assists. And if, yeah, the record is either what,
28
20.
goals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, he's very close. And I think it showed maybe in watching the highlights of that game, because shocker, I also didn't watch the game. He was passing quite a bit, right? Because he's clearly, I think it's sort of at the back of his mind that he wants that record. But he's also leading goals. So I think they go, in my honest opinion, I don't think Liverpool take their foot off. They might lose a bit of quality, but agree with AF, it's now a chance because the squad is getting to a point where in certain areas you're getting players that are a bit older. Some might have signed some big contracts, but you're still wanting to blood in enough youngsters to kind of compete on all fronts next season. So what better way than to just give them the chance now in his last, 3 or 4 games maybe? So yeah, I'm going to put you guys on the spot quickly. AF, give me a prediction, and I'm not going to ask you for a scorer. Just give me a prediction. Yeah, I think the score is going to be hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Okay.
Yeah.
Bold.
At the bridge. Yeah.
At the bridge. Okay. Sripad, if Robert Sanchez plays, is it going to be 2-1 or is it going to be 2-2?
I think if the good Sanchez turns up, it's a 1-0 win. If the bad Sanchez turns up, it's a 2-1 win.
Okay. That's fair.
Is that a 2-1 win for Chelsea or for Liverpool?
Chelsea will win this weekend.
Okay.
Because Liverpool will have that, even though they know that they are supposed to keep going, but that steal the title, we don't need to. Like, there's no chance they can go for the record points. If that was still there, then they would have probably had the eye on that. They don't have that. They can't even reach their record points for a season. And in that way, I'm actually sad that they're not in the Champions League, because if they were in the Champions League, they'd have rested the whole squad and they'd have played a young team. But at the same time, you cannot like discount the Liverpool youngsters as well. They showed us in the Carabao Cup, I think the Carabao Cup last year, or was it the FA Cup? I forgot. Yeah, the Carabao Cup, correct. They met us in the Carabao Cup final, so you cannot really discount the youngsters also.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got 2-2-1s, right? Am I correct in saying that? I'm actually going to go a few more goals here, and I think it's going to be like a Liverpool 3-2. I just think they'll have enough over this current Chelsea team, and I'm not going to say it's dependent on what happens tomorrow night with the Chelsea, because Chelsea play, I think it's Sunday, and then they play Thursday again, so it's not really that much. But yeah, I think 3-2. I think Liverpool still have that little bit of quality. Whether the quality is going to be consistent, I don't know, but it's just so they've won the league. So if you lose a few games, it's not going to change whether you win the league or not.
I really just think that like this top 4 fight or top 5 fight, if you will, that's just going to be the one to watch over the last 4 weeks now. I think after tomorrow night with Forest versus Brentford, if Forest win that one, they go up to 63. Then I think there's 6 points separating 3 to 7, which it's there's going to be 2 teams that's going to be insanely disappointed by not making Champions League. But yeah, that's the only spectacle that's really left in the last few weeks of the Premier League, which is a bit of a buzzkill, because you normally like waiting for that relegation fight. You're waiting to see if the title is going to come down to at least the second last week or something. But I guess beggars can't be choosers here. Like we at least get a Champions League scuffle.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think that's I wouldn't say the last few seasons, but with both the top and the bottom half being sorted, there's now so many permutations because there's so many European spots that are up for grabs.
Yeah.
So that's where it then becomes interesting. A late charge by United won't get them close, I think, because 12 extra points takes 51. But a late charge by Wolves, maybe even Crystal Palace, they could be into that 9th, 10th spot, basically, which could even guarantee you Conference League.
Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup, it secures them the Europa League. So, like Do you like focus all your energy on going crazy in the league to try and get that spot, or do you put all your eggs in one basket and try to outplay Man City in a roller coaster season for them?
Yeah.
So yeah, Ollie Glasner, man.
I think that's where, yeah, that's where the thoughts are. That's where all of the focus will be from that two down to like 11th, 12th, maybe. And that's exciting. I think let's focus on that. Let's not focus on Liverpool in the league, man. Sorry. As far, sorry, no, it's nothing personal, but I just, I
We already
can't
got that
see.
out of the way in the starting of the show. We said congratulations.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think
No,
we
look.
should be
Before the
obliged
guy
to do
thinks
more.
that I'm not reading comments, I've seen it all. Look, I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm not going to bring this podcast into disrepute now, is it? But what I will do is thank these lovely gentlemen for joining me. Thank everybody in the chat. AF, where can the people find you, man?
Yeah, so at AF Parker 642 everywhere. It is Comic Con this week, so if you are interested in those type of things, I will be doing updates on all of my pages, interviews with some celebrities, etc. But other than that, probably crying tomorrow night. Maybe we'll see.
Maybe
Depending
there's a
on that
crash
result.
out, guys. If
Yeah,
anything, maybe follow AF tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Let's see if he's going to be nervous tweeting before the game. Let's see how he tweets during the game.
yeah, and I'll probably just end up like doing updates of Comic Con instead. I think that is better for my peace of mind.
That's
But
good.
yeah, follow follow Sportycast and tap a like on this video. Tap subscribe on the channel if you haven't yet already. Just keep on sharing, and we do appreciate you guys.
That's fair. That's fair. Shripad at false winger, give us some truth bombs
Everywhere.
there. Where can the people find you? Everywhere.
I'm false winger everywhere. All
Lovely.
social media handles false winger.
Yes,
Lovely.
bruh.
Okay. Riaz Parker, just for context for those that don't know, he's a Spurs fan. And he says he's will be watching United tomorrow evening. Um, I don't know. I don't know, guys. These are my rivals, isn't it? These are my rivals. I am at Jason underscore Ronnie. I've just got a late run into the box here. Jay, look at the thing started at 7, my bro. I tried my heart out from 7:15 to 7:20. So I can't cry again. Okay.
He's out of
But
tears. He needs
yeah,
some.
out of tears. It started on Sunday and it went all the way to last night as well. So I'm done. But yeah,
And
thank you once again, Tripod, for jumping in there. If you have something,
yeah, super. I don't think I ever asked you, where did the name or the handle false winger come from?
So this, I think, 2016 or something was when I switched to false winger. I was always saying my handle used to be Shripad something all the time. But then, but yeah, there was no real difference in that. Everyone had false nine. They were talking about all these false positions, and suddenly I just went for false winger. But then, given like I was talking to like the similar question came up with a friend of mine also like last month, and I was like, when giving the thought right now, false winger is a proper tribute to Salah because he's not a striker, he's not a winger, but he's a false winger who's just always in the box. So I think I'll give it to Salah for now and say this is a tribute to Salah.
And then he left you. He just left you high and dry.
yo,
I think, see,
Salah.
I'll be honest with Salah. I did not see this coming. This has been a rise of like this is his. Like, you can't really give credit to anyone else. This is his determination to be that, to show the people that he is a good player. It's not that he's not the Chelsea flop everyone should remember him as, and
Yeah,
that's what has got him to this position. And like, there's absolutely like I can't say that Chelsea made a mistake by selling him because he was very honest while he was selling him. He was very honest while he was at Basel. But even looking back at it, I'm glad for him that he left Chelsea because if he was still at the club, I think he would have been forgotten like Mudrik.
Yo, Mudrik is still there as well, yeah. That's crazy. Nah, for sure. But I think it's a good way to end it there. Mo Salah, aka false winger, aka Shripad, our friend of the channel. Thank you very much, and thank you everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the love, we appreciate the support, all the comments. Hit the subscribe if you haven't. I'm not sure if you just want to come comment and not like and subscribe to others. That's actually a bit whack, to be honest. But thanks for the support. We are nearing the end of the season. We're going to be doing a few more fun pieces of content. AF's not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. We'll be ranking a few players. We'll be ranking a few teams. Things of those natures. So things to
updates.
Transfer updates. That's probably the most excitement that we get because we just make a rumor and we hope it sticks. But thanks for all the support. Thanks for the love. If you somehow support Barca and Inter, then good luck tonight because I'll see you in the final. I've been Jason and this has been 343. Have a good one. Peace.